Just a few days to the recap process, or to the recapitalization, at least the first phase. How are you and your colleagues getting set?
Well, it's a directive from the Central Bank of Nigeria, and we have no choice but to comply. However, and as I'm sure you are aware, there are a lot of challenges we are facing in the sector. Our members are struggling to see that they meet the deadline, but the timing is seriously hampering on how far we can go in achieving this.
What do you mean by struggling?
Yeah, no, because when you are asked to increase your share capital by 1,000%, it's not a small thing. It's a tall order. And this is coming at a time where the economy is terribly battered. We are just coming out of recession. And we are still in the second phase of the pandemic, COVID pandemic. So sourcing and accessing funds to re-inject as capital is a big challenge for our members. But I can assure you, our members are struggling to see that they meet with this deadline.
Are you assuring Nigerians that even if the central bank does not renege on its decision, that you and your colleagues will recapitalize and many microfinance banks will survive?
Yes, thank you. I like the way you used the many. I thought you were saying all. Certainly, out of the 874 that we have that are licensed, I'm sure quite a sizable number will be able to scale through. And even before now, if you just go around on the random search, there are some banks that are really not doing very well. And if they're not able to take any of the options of meeting this deadline, that is either they reinject additional funds, they go through the merger and acquisition option, or they downgrade, or they relocate, or they sell the license. These are the 5 options available to our members. Some might not be able to get any one of them, and I think those ones are just going to go naturally. But from the plea we are making, the advocacy we are making, I think before the deadline, CBN will do something. I'm sure they are going to shift their ground.
What kind of advocacy? Because the last time I interviewed the National Secretary too, he was telling me about the advocacy is going on, and you all are advocating for an extension of time to 2025. Have you been able to speak with the officials of the Apex Bank? That's, I think, the department overseeing, yes.
Okay. Actually, the advocacy is not just for extension of the time, okay? Yes, extending the time is something that will give us a breather. But all the same, we are equally looking for and advocating for reduction in the set, minimum share capital that they are saying we should inject. The licensing is 3. You have the national, you have the state, and then you have the unit. And then the unit, they've tied it into 2, tier 1 and tier 2. And ordinarily, they are saying for the unit that the minimum share capital had been 20 million. Now they expect us to increase it by 1,000% to 200 million. Now, when this circular came out, we wrote and protested, and then we gave reasons.
When did the circular come out?
It came out in 2018. Yes. We wrote, approached CBN, had meetings with them, and they saw reason with us. So they had to tear the unit, because the unit is, constituting about 70 to 80% of the total number.
Really, of the microfinance? So you have more units microfinance banks than national? Of course you will have, definitely. You have,
the national,
not so many of you are players in the state and national
category. That's right. We have only 10 licensed, national, with license, about 134 with the state license, all the remaining, about 600 plus. 700 plus, in the unit. So they tied it, saying unit rural and then unit urban. Now for the unit rural, they said, okay, fine, because of the reasons we gave. They said instead of for the unit rurals to go to 200 million, let them move from 20 to 50. For that one, we are further advocating that 50 should be further reduced down to 35. At least from 20, you are required to add 15. And then this 15 is spread into 2 phases. First threshold brings 7.5. Second threshold brings 7.5. So at the end of the day, you have your 50. We are saying reduce it.
Sorry to cut you short. I just wanted to follow up on what you're saying. At what point did the central bank come down with this tiering, that's categorizing unit into two. At what point? When did you tell
It was at the initial stage when the circular came out, yes. When the circular came out, 2018. Okay. So from that end of 2018, around October or so, to early 2019, we kept advocating, writing, going forth and back, giving them reasons. That was when they said, yes, these guys are right. Let's look at this again. Because once they say unit, some are in the deep rural areas, some are in the cities, they all carry the same license. So the requirement for the capital will not be the same. So they agreed and then they tied it. Yeah.
So continue on your point. For the units, rural units microfinance bank, 50 million.
Yes.
But units urban?
It still remains as 200 million.
Okay.
Okay. So now for the 50 million for the rural or rural unit, we are advocating that 50 should further come down to 35. With that, I think a lot of our members will be able to scale through. Then for the unit urban, who are in the cities, we said instead of 200 million, why don't you make it 100 million, which was the former license requirement for a state license. Now, that is our advocacy for that. Then for the state, from 100 million, they have moved to 1 billion, another 1,000% increase. We said, why? Considering what we are going through, let it come down to 500 million, at least from 100 million as a state, meaning you can operate anywhere within the local governments of your choosing state. Let it come down to 500. With 500, most of our states, microfinance banks will be able to, to meet up. And then for the national, from 2 billion, they move to 5 billion. You understand? Now we are saying, look, we know they are national, they have the wherewithal. However, this timing is wrong. So why don't you bring it down to 3 billion? And then once we attain this, then allow the banks to grow organically, so that as they are operating, they are making profits, they are injecting, and they are growing. That's a natural growth. But this one just coming by fiat, our belief is going to hit the sector very, very hard. Okay,
we'll come back to hitting the sector in a while. Yeah. But I just also want to go back to history.
Yeah.
Not too long ago.
Yeah.
How long has this recapitalization story been on? How long has the central bank been telling MFBs to recapitalize?
No, they said this around 2018, and then they followed it up with a policy paper, with a circular. So it's just 2018, towards end of 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
So since that time, even till now, the microfinance banks do think it's not yet a good time, or even at that 2018, that it wasn't a good time?
No. You see, at that point, when it came like as just a hit, a surprise to us. We, the operators, practitioners, we believe there is the need to increase share capital. Definitely.
So you believe there is a need to recapitalize?
Yes, definitely, because once you increase your share capital, it means you are increasing your capacity for wider reach, for deeper reach to your customers. Because the more you have more funds, the more you can play around and then do your services. You understand? So we believe there is a need for that increase, but not the quantum of 1,000% that CBN has, just slashed on us.
So how far is the recap process going on right now?
Well, like I have enumerated the 5 different options that our members have. Everyone is struggling to see which is the best that they can fit their own planning, and then they do it. Recently, just about...
I want to interrogate that 5 options more. That's why I asked you that question.
The first option is get additional capital.
Okay, yes.
Okay? Because that means it's within you can raise additional funds, get it from your existing shareholders, or open up new
sources of capital.
Yeah, fine. That is first one. Second one is mergers and acquisitions. Look for minds around, but that one is a little bit difficult because microfinance banking is a community-based banking. So a community will not want to go to another community and merge. They have different reasons for setting up their shops, their banks. That's second one. Then the third one is
license.
Yes, you can downgrade your license. And unfortunately, it's only the national and the state that will take that option, because already they are up there in the ladder, on the ladder. So they can decide to come down. So if you are a state, you can now write to CBN and say, look, I don't want to have that status again. I'm returning your license. Give me a unit license. Thereby, you now choose, is it tier 1 or tier 2? Is it the rural or the urban? So that's another option. Then another option is
Acquisition?
Yeah.
Total acquisition?
Yes. Open
acquisition.
yourself. People will look at you if you are viable. It's only that you are struggling. You don't have the muscles to continue. Instead of allowing you to die, somebody will just go and buy you over and then continue with the business, and then you remaining as a branch and then saving the workforce. You understand? So, and then the customer base are already there. So that's the other one. The second one is you sell your license. I know I tried whatever I can between the 5 options, and I cannot make it. And then I have the license. It's much easier for an intending investor to look for my types and then buy off the license, then re-inject capital and continue with the business, than for me to die and then I die and I go with the license. Any person that wants a new license now is going to go through the hurdles of so many things before CBN approves them. So these are the options open to our members.
So out of these 5 options now,
yes,
which one of these options are your members going for more? Because I've seen also that some of the banks are being acquired now.
Yeah.
Some are already being bought
yes,
over. So out of these 5 options, which of these options are MFBs going for?
It's a mix.
It's a mix?
It's a mix, yes.
So which mix is more?
You see, the injection, because there are some banks that are doing very, very well, and they have the goodwill and the confidence is there. So when they are looking for money, they can easily raise it. That one is there. And then the downgrade.
Okay.
Okay. And then the relocation. These are the 3 that are easily, we see our members struggling to do.
But will a state MFB now downgrade to a unit and just have 1 branch?
Yes. Is to remain relevant, to survive, and then continue to a business.
When you are a state MFB, you already have branches, then you now downgrade to a unit, just 1 branch in 1 location.
It's an option. It's better than dying.
Dying.
Yeah, it's better than dying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're talking about additional capital, you're talking about outright acquisition. That's what we're saying.
Yes.
We're not seeing M&As, mergers and acquisitions?
Well, there are options. They are trying. And you see, I don't want to bring in the, capital market thing, because that one is very expensive. The cost associated with that, going to the capital market, trying to, get source funds, is a little bit difficult. And there are certain criteria that you must meet before you are even able to achieve that. Yeah.
So, if you're talking about timing, when will the timing be right? I know you have said 2025.
That is our advocacy, yes.
So when will...
Reduce the amount and then extend it to 2025, and then within this period, COVID and whatever will have fizzled out, and then life will, return to normal.
You don't know the crisis we would also have tomorrow.
We are praying that things will improve. That is it, yes.
So you're saying between now and 2025, in the next 4 years, that the timing should be right?
Yes, that's the final, yes.
Final.
Yes.
What has been the impact of COVID on your sector, on your industry?
Definitely, we are not an exception to other businesses in the country and then in the world as well. Every sector has been hit, more especially us. You see, we are dealing with the unbanked at the grassroots level, people that are surviving on the little amounts you are giving them as loans. These people are struggling to survive, looking for food to eat. Suddenly, COVID came in. Now, idea of paying back the loans they have taken from the banks, to them is secondary, it's not more primary. They want to survive, live, put food on the table for their families. Before now, they can go back to do that. All the businesses have been shut to do their businesses, and then from there, find a way to repair the banks. I'm happy CBN saw this, and they gave out a notice that, look, we have now room to restructure this kind of loans, because almost everyone has been affected. You restructure it, give your customers a breather, okay? Instead of this, the loan, being paid within maybe 6 months, now you can further extend it by, another, meaning now it will further, the pressure will be low, will be very low and small to the customer, and then the customer will be able to do something and then pay you back. Yeah. So
if you take a look at the business model that the microfinance banks in Nigeria operate, do you think there should be a review?
Most definitely. We have made a paper presentation to CBN that it should be a holistic review. It's not only the capital that is the issues facing the sector. It's not only the capital. Capital is because they have given us a deadline and amount that is so outrageous that we cannot meet. That is why it's on the front burner now. But there are a whole lot of other things that we have written. They should look at the whole framework, holistically, and then make so. And we've given that do this and do this.
What were some of the things you told the Apex Bank? Because if you take a look at the history of microfinance banks, we had community banks at a time.
Certainly, yeah.
In the country.
Yes.
You know, at a time, microfinance banks in the country deviated.
Sure.
Deviated because a lot of them started acting as if they were
commercial
banks,
yes,
big banks, and all of
You're
that.
right.
So what were the things that were contained in that paper that you submitted to the CBN in terms of the holistic review and the business model changing from what we have?
You see,
right
there
now?
are a lot of things there.
Just I enumerate some.
Like one, this the period for classifying your loan. You see, what it says is after 90 days, on the 91st day, whatever loan that is out there that has not been paid, you should classify it 100%, make provision. We are saying, why must that be only to the microfinance bank when other commercial banks are having the luxury of taking it to over 12 months, you know? And you see, once your loans are not paid and they start counting, you are expected to start making provisions. This making provisions means you are hitting your bottom line. It's an expense, and it keeps dragging you, back and dragging you down. So it's one of the items.
Okay, if we take a look at this recapitalization right now, we're looking at, will recapitalization solve all the problems?
Not all the problems.
Most?
Yes, most of the problems, because recapitalization means you are now having additional funds. You are now having additional funds, okay, to do your business. So it will solve most of the problem, because when you look at microfinance sector, you see we are left to source our own funds. And you know, raising funds in microfinance sector is very, very expensive. It's very, very expensive. That is why when people keep complaining that our interest rates are high, some of us will look at them and say, you don't know how we source these funds. Because you are talking about mopping up deposits, savings from, you know, these itinerant workers, you know, artisans and things like that. How much can you garner from such people to form a pool out of which now you start giving out as loans? So that explains why our interest rates are relatively higher than the normal that they should be. Yes.
Oh, are you justifying why interest rate for microfinance bank is as high as 25%, 30%?
Yes. And
for the unbanked, for the rural population, for a model that is supposed to alleviate poverty?
You alleviate poverty by government funds, by interventions. We don't have these interventions. These are private investors' funds. We are the ones that are going around mopping up funds at a very high cost. So for a rational businessman, you must cover your costs.
So you're saying cost of production, really, or cost?
It's high,
yes.
yeah.
So that's why the interest rates in microfinance banks are high?
That's right. And surprisingly, our customers are very loyal and they are paying. They don't, because you see, at that level, once I have an issue and I need funding and I run to you and immediately you address that, I don't even look at the interest rate. You understand? I don't even look at that. My immediate need is let me solve my problem, and it's being solved. So you find that people would struggle to pay back, so that tomorrow when they come back, you can increase that whatever amount they are looking for and you give them. Because it's much, much easier to access funds in microfinance banks than in the conventional banks. So we are closer to the people. We know their behaviors. We are with them. They are our constituency. So we know the problems they have, with the challenges they have. So whenever we are coming up with products, we tailor them towards meeting such specific needs of our clients.
What has been the engagement like with the unbanked population, people that are supposed to bank with the microfinance bank? What I mean is that have you been able to, your advocacy, do we have more people banking with microfinance banks? Because I know even some time ago, years ago, it wasn't like that. Part of what I was campaigning even here on the show, sometimes it's, or most times, go to a microfinance bank. If you need a loan of 50K or 100,000, you don't need to go to a commercial bank. You can just go to the nearest microfinance bank and open an account. Are we seeing more, more acceptance by Nigerians, since we are the poorest country in the world?
Yes, that's what they say. But you know, Nigeria is a very rich country, and we have rich
that's what it is. That's what it is, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what it is. Figures say that we are the poorest people.
Okay, I agree.
But you are saying that we are the richest people in what?
I never said we are richest.
Oh, we are
Nigeria
rich.
is a rich country. It's only when you leave the shores of the country that you know how blessed Nigeria is. Yes.
So we are rich in what? Do you mean?
Human resources. We have rich people that have money. Only that there are few, but the money is still there. You see them in Forbes, on Forbes, you know, number 1, number 2, you know, in the world. So we are not that poor. The issue is the distribution of the funds is skewed towards, you know, very few, and that is where the microfinance banks come. They are the ones to help redistribute these funds. And it might interest you to know, out there in the market, once you talk, you say you are from microfinance bank, the first thing that comes to the people there is, let me come and take loan. Forgetting that this loan you're coming to take is somebody's deposit, somebody's money. So why don't you establish a relationship, come and save first, be a customer of the bank over time, and then when you have issues, you can now approach the bank for support, and then the bank supports you. But the common customers we have, people out there, is when they have money, they go to the commercial banks, no matter how little it is, they go and put it.
5,000.
Yes. But when they're looking for a loan, they come to the microfinance bank. Well, we don't print, we don't manufacture money.
So what are people doing to turn that?
You see, it's general enlightenment. Yes, general enlightenment. We are doing this. We are going around. Like since I assumed, this position, we have gone around the geopolitical zones, had stakeholder engagements, not only with the bankers, with the customers, with the promoters. You know, let them know this is what microfinance is all about. It's easy. Go to your community, set up a microfinance bank. Within that, as long as there are, economic, commercial activities, that bank should not die. It should be there to survive, to support the businesses there. This is what we are,
How about the cooperative societies?
Well, you see, the cooperative societies, the non-bank microfinance institutions, we are all playing in the same sector. But we are regularized, okay? We are regulated because CBN is giving us license, and we will need to be regulated because we are taking deposits.
People's money.
Yeah, the other ones are not taking deposits from the public. What they are taking is contributions of their members, the dues, the subscriptions of their members. That is what they play around with. We are a licensed bank. We go out, we're allowed to go and take deposits from anywhere and then come and turn it around, make our money, and then pay back our depositors. Yeah.
It's such a hard pill to swallow now, because it's just a few days to the end of April. What's the potential of the sector or the industry moving forward?
No, you see, day by day, we are being innovative. We are coming up with so many things that, because at the end of the day, the microfinance subsector, okay, we want to self-regulate ourselves. And so before you can self-regulate yourself, there are a lot of things that you need to do which must be seen and be felt before that confidence is there, that you'll be allowed to at least take charge. And then, but as a licensed bank, definitely CBN, the regulators must be there. But this too much interface and interference is what we are saying that.
Are you saying you are over-regulated?
Yes.
You are over-regulated?
Yes, we are over-regulated to the point that we are being stifled. Because at any given time, any circular can be sent out to you that will adversely affect you. But you see, we can't sit here as operators and then think like the regulators. The same thing and vice versa. The regulators cannot sit there and then think like the operators. Definitely, we need to come together, sit down. Our advocacy is anytime there is any policy that is going to affect us, we should be involved in that, so that at least we will tell them this is what it is, this is what is happening in the sector. Reason with us, because we will back up all our arguments with facts and figures. But we are just seated like that, and then circular came out, and then there is disarray now in the sector. Now,
how much disarray are you seeing? Or how much panic are you already seeing in the sector? Are customers panicking? Are people taking out their monies from existing MFBs?
You see, we are dealing with the informal sector, the MSMEs, okay? And as you know, these are the engines. These are the drivers of the engine of any economic development in the country. You understand? Now, when we look at them as informal, we think they are not enlightened. They are not intelligent. These are individuals that are in businesses. So someone cannot be in business unless that person is intelligent, okay? So they have their ears open. Once there is a pronouncement like this, they will look at it. The first thing is, how is my money going to be saved? That's the first thing they will do. Now, when this idea came out, okay, we know the effect it will have. Like, we had to talk to them. Look, take it easy. We are equally stakeholders, okay? You have entrusted your monies with us. We are the ones that have gotten the license from CBN. We will do whatever we can to protect your deposits, and then business will continue. However, out of many, you know, definitely, no matter how we do it, few will be casualties. And what we are saying is...
So what will happen to those banks that are casualties? And what will
naturally, it's not a natural death, because they are dying as a result of something. So it's not natural death. They will be forced to close shop. And once they close shop, the danger in any financial system is once one bank closes shop, there are a lot of people that will say, my money is down in this bank. If I have in bank A or bank B, let me quickly go and save it. So that will be run on those that will even survive. And you see, a scenario for us now, and which is very, very dangerous, we see it, coming up, is most of so a good number of the microfinances might not be able to, survive using any of the 5 options I've given you. Now, they will close shop. Definitely, they will close shop. Even if we extend it to 2025, there will still be some that will not be able to cross. Now, those ones that die, okay, the effect, there will be rippling effect on those that will survive. And don't forget, every microfinance bank is expected to have a corresponding banking relationship with other commercial banks. It will equally rub negatively off the commercial banks and then the system. So there will be total chaos. But we are managing. If CBN agrees to the proposal we are making, the advocacy we are making, we are also stakeholders in this business. Listen to us. We are the operators. We are the ones doing this business. Yes, you are there. You have all the might, the power to come up with any policy. But please, listen to us. Let's give you advice. Just like a former leader of the country says, yes, I put as a advisor. Your own is to advise me. Mine is to take it or not to take it. At least listen to us. Let's give the advice so that it will be on record that when these so items are brought up, it was put on the table. These were our contributions. They were taken or not taken. At least we will be vindicated that yes, we have done as an association, that we have done what we are supposed to do to protect our members. How
much engagement as we round up? Are you still engaging with them? Are you still going to meet with them? Are you still
we have written, yes, because of this COVID, so there is restriction in going to. But surprisingly, other regulators, you can walk in there, you can, I don't know how they see it. This COVID is as if it's looking for CBN people to kill, So it's difficult to even get there, So most of the engagements we do are virtual, online, discussions. We have had series of meetings with different departments that affect us. And we are pushing and pushing. They keep saying they will not ship grants, but I know CBN will ship grants at the end of the day if they see the damage that will be done to the system. Yes.
Anyway, I don't want to further overheat the system.
Yeah.
I don't want to further overheat it because there were some other questions I would have loved to ask. But it's in our interest to keep the financial system stable.
Running, that's right.
So I think that's the much we can take today. Let's continue to watch and let's continue to communicate and keep me up to speed.
Anytime. We're available.
Keep me up to speed with what is happening at least the next few days to the end of April.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having us.
All right. I've been speaking with the national president of the National Association, the national president of the National Association of Microfinance Banks, Yusuf Ahmed Gyallesu. Well, thank you for joining us.